The W, the O, the R, the K. The W, the O, the R, the K. Look yourself in the face. Look yourself in the mirror, ask yourself, are you giving 120% every day? Every play? Give me 120 or don't give me nothing at all. The guy you competing against, you haven't outworked him. You've not outworked the person next to you. You've not out-hustled them. You've not out-grind them. You've not outdone them. You're not locked in. Bring all your passion. Bring heart. Every single game, every single play. Put forth 120% or don't ask nobody to do nothing to you. The W, the O, the R, the K. The W, the O.
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's going on, everybody? Got a little impromptu live going on right now on YouTube and X and TikTok. Just kind of wanted to check in and make sure everybody was okay after living through one of the biggest biggest cryptocurrency dumps and in cryptocurrency history. $19 billion was liquidated from the cryptocurrency market yesterday. This was the biggest cryptocurrency liquidation in history. But before we start to talk a little bit about that for a little bit, go ahead, you guys on YouTube, go ahead and go like the stream and share the stream too. This is an impromptu stream. Usually not off. I'm off my regular schedule doing this stream. So off my regular schedule. So go ahead and like this and share this out. Also, if you're over there on X, go ahead and do the same. Like this thing and share this thing out as this is a little bit off of our regular schedule. But I got to check in with my people, man, because after what happened yesterday, I want to make sure everybody all right, man. I'm just trying to make sure everybody's good, everybody's okay. Everybody over there on TikTok, thank you guys for joining. We have 3 streams going at once, so I'll do my best to try to get to anything that we have going on question-wise and everything else. But I appreciate everybody for joining over there on TikTok as well. Go ahead and share this thing out and go ahead and keep tapping that the like screen because TikTok likes that when we throw them likes up all the time, and it saves me from having to go behind the scenes and make sure that we're still alive. So I'll do my best to get to everybody. Not really going to bring anybody up on TikTok right now because I have 3 platforms all going at once, but I do my best to try to get to your questions. But I want to make sure everybody's okay because this was a huge dump yesterday. Rocked the cryptocurrency market in general. The stock market got rocked. Cryptocurrency got rocked. Everybody kind of got rocked, and I want to make sure that we know what's going on. We figure out how we're going to play this, let you guys see what I'm seeing out here on these charts and on these screens, and we can see where everybody is. But man, like I said, a little impromptu today, so like I said, just going to try to check and make sure everybody's good. Selmo, good morning, brother. Good morning. Good morning. Timsky, good morning, man. How are you, man? How are you? Buy that dip. Oh man. Yo, it's a hell of a dip to buy, Timsky. A lot of people that were buying yesterday were actually buying on a falling knife. They really were buying on a falling knife yesterday. Probably wasn't the best situation for everybody to try to catch that dip. I can tell you, I did catch the dip on Airdrome Finance. One of the few that I caught the dip on because a lot of the cryptocurrency exchanges went down. So I did catch the dip on Airdrome though, and I caught the dip on HBAR as well, but wouldn't let me catch the dip on a lot of other stuff. So I will tell you that stop losses got hit on all of my long trades as well. So, even the traders that trade every day, their stop losses will get hit. This was definitely a coordinated sell-off. This definitely was a coordinated sell-off by the institutions, and it was set up perfect. And I'll go through the setup with you guys and how this thing now the day after, now that everybody had a chance to digest what happened, I'll give you my take on how this thing was set up in this sell-off happened. And it was institutional sell-off. It was definitely an institutional sell-off, and it was definitely a setup. But yeah, I caught the dip, man, and on a couple. Tried to catch the dip on a couple more, but definitely the exchanges went down yesterday. Steve, good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you, man? Long time no hear from. How are you, Steve, the Canadian? Is everything good? Everybody that's joined on TikTok as well, man. I see you guys all joining over there, man. I really appreciate you guys, man. Keep tapping that like screen over there. TikTok likes that. I will definitely be scrolling through these comments here in just a second and try to get to as many as I can. And I'm sorry if I don't get to all of your comments. I'm kind of live streaming on 3 platforms right now. So we'll definitely do the best we can. And of course, that 15-cent Crow. Yeah, Crow dropped down to 15 cents yesterday. Everything dropped, man. Everything was at a discount. It was like going to it literally was like going to the Goodwill store and the Goodwill store having 50% off of their prices. So it was nuts, man. And a lot of people, this was their first bull run, and this is their first bull run. And what a lot of people don't realize is this was a flash crash, right? This was a flash crash. It's something that we've lived through before because we've been in the cryptocurrency, for a couple cycles now. So we actually lived through this before. But it's scary. It's a scary situation for anybody who hasn't been in it before. But this definitely was a flash crash, and this was the biggest liquidation in history, guys. Is $19 billion is definitely no joke and no slouch. And like I said, it set the record for the biggest liquidation in history in crypto. So, you live through it. So if you're here and you made it through it, congratulations. You made it through the biggest liquidation in crypto history. So Chipsky says he was actually on the sidelines. That's a good place to be. And now you're getting everything at about a 30% discount. If you had cash on the sidelines, you're getting everything at about a 30% discount right now. This is one of the reasons why I always preach to everybody to have cash on the sidelines, because in crypto, you never know. You never know what's going to happen. And I was actually live on Wadi's TikTok stream when this all was going down. When this all went down. So we were kind of streaming over there live when this was happening. We got 2 Canadians in the chat. Yeah, we do. So, yeah, so we're actually live over there. So we're actually going through this thing live, but definitely everything's at a discount right now. And everybody should be like, really, if you had money on the sidelines, you're in a good position right now. Because you can buy the dip, but there's nothing to say that the dip is over right now, and we'll go through why here in a minute. So definitely, I think this was coordinated. It was a coordinated sell-off. It was coordinated from the institutions, and it definitely was one of the ones where they set this thing up. The market makers set this thing up perfect. Now that you had a day to go back and look at it, and a day to digest it, and the data just say, hey, man, what really happened? The market makers did everything lined up for them, and they took full advantage of this situation. I almost put a short in right before the crash. If you were in a short position, right before the crash, I mean, you probably made 10 times the amount of money that you had planned on making on that particular short. But if you were in a long position, you got absolutely torched. It's not even. It's not. If you were in a long position and you're out here while that was going on, and you tell anybody you made money, you were lying. I'm telling you right now, all my stop losses got hit. My phone was vibrating so much yesterday. I thought it was going to vibrate out of my hand as all my short positions were hitting their target. So, I'm telling you, that was a falling knife, and that was a falling knife for real. But let's talk about what happened, right? And before we talk about where we are, let's talk about what happened yesterday. So, Trump and the China president over there, or whatever they call them, we're going back and forth on tariffs and taxes and things like that, right? So the stock market started to come down right around 10, 11 o'clock. That dump started to happen 10, 11 o'clock in the morning, Eastern Standard Time. And then it started to level off. And the market makers over there, over here in crypto said, you know what, this is a perfect opportunity for us to, we have a catalyst in the tariffs, right? So what we're able to do, we have a long weekend here in the United States, right? So the markets are going to be closed on Monday. So you have an event, right? Which is the possible tariff talks, right? And then you have a long weekend here in the United States for the stock market, right? So the stock market will be closed on Monday. So the market maker started to kick into action right around 4 o'clock, or right around market close, where nobody could really manipulate the stock market and the ETFs. So right around that time, right around when the market started to close, the market makers just started to ding, 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 and sell off on all their crypto, right? Which ultimately started to wreck the longs in the market, right? So when you started to wreck these longs, which turned around and wrecked these longs, which turned around, it was a domino effect all the way down, manipulated by the market makers, right? And this thing, so they crashed it down, knowing, one, that it was a long weekend here in the United States, and that Monday wouldn't be a recovery day for the ETFs to pump into Bitcoin and Ethereum to try to save the market. And two, they had their event. So everything lined up for them perfectly. Now they can come and blame it on the tariffs, even though we've had tariff talk for months and months and months and months and months. We've never seen an event like this. So it's hard to blame it on the tariffs after we've already had all of this tariff talk for months and all of this. This was a manipulated market crash, and you don't liquidate $15 billion out of the market from retail investors. Let's just be honest. You know that doesn't happen. So they started the downfall, and then it kind of all snowballed on itself, because once you start liquidating longs or shorts, then it's just a snowball effect after that. So they did, and that's not to say that it's over, right? There's a lot of liquidity sitting right above $95,000 for Bitcoin that could definitely be liquidated at any minute. So that's not to say that it's over. I'm not here to spread any fear or anything else, but there is some liquidity sitting down there at $95,000 that could be liquidated out of the market. But we shall see what happens. But what's going to end up happening? Happy Canadian. Happy to the Canadians in the chat as well, Timsky. But yeah, so what is going to be the reaction when the markets open on Tuesday is going to be the key, right? Well, actually, what's going to be the reaction when the Asian market opens Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time? How are they going to react to this situation? And then how are the European markets going to react to the situation when they start to open up on Monday as well? The United States markets are closed on Monday, but they'll open up on Tuesday. And then how do they react to this situation as well? So that's going to be the driving force on whether or not this market can recover, or we're going to take the second leg down to about 95K. is how these markets are going to react when they open up. I can tell you from the United States market standpoint, when you look at it, the market makers are not going to allow. There's a bunch of people that got in right at 4 o'clock and they took long positions because the market crashed. They started to buy the options and are looking for the run up. And there's a lot of liquidity sitting there. So will the market makers allow them to keep that liquidity and cash in on the run up, or will they come down and wreck them option traders as well and then start to make a second move up? So it's going to get interesting. And then you have the SEC who's closed. I mean, I'm throwing a lot out there at you guys right now, and I know that, but there's a lot going on. But then you have the SEC who's closed right now in the United States because of the shutdown, the government shutdown. So we have all these ETFs that are supposed to be getting approved here. So is this market manipulation? Did the markets manipulate themselves in order for these big dogs to be able to come in here, swoop this liquidity, buy up this liquidity before the ETFs get approved and before the market opens? That's another scenario that could be at play here as well, because you have HBAR, the HBAR ETF sitting out there, the Solana ETF sitting out there, and the XRP ETF sitting out there, and the Ethereum staking ETFs that go live at the end of October. So could this be a liquidity sweep in order for these guys to be able to go down, grab all that liquidity for the ETFs that are about to be approved before that next run up? That's another way of thinking about it, right? But make no doubt that this wasn't an event that just happened. This, people will say, oh my God, this is something that happens in every single bull run. I'm here to tell you that that's bullshit, because you just lived through the biggest liquidity sweep in cryptocurrency history. So anybody that sits there and says that I've seen this happen before in other bull markets, no, you haven't, because there's never been a liquidity grab this big in this short amount of time. It's never happened. So anybody that says that they've seen it happen, or that they lived through it, or that this happened last cycle or 2 cycles ago or 3 cycles ago, they're lying. Their math doesn't math. There's never been $19 billion liquidated in a 24-hour period of time in any bull run cycle. So they're not telling you the truth. So they may have seen a flash crash. We've all seen flash crashes in crypto before, but never one that was manipulated like this. So I'm here to tell you, that if anybody's out here saying that to you, ask them the question of when and to show you the numbers, because they're not going to be able to do it. They can show you a flash crash number, but they can't show you they can't show you $19 billion coming out of the market. Stock market is open on Monday. I don't believe it's open in the United States. I believe it's closed. It's a holiday. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. I could be wrong. The stock market could be open in the United States on Monday. It is a holiday, though. So even if the stock market is open on Monday in the United States, there's going to be very little trading going on. And maybe that's a good thing. I was under the assumption that it was closed. But whether it's open, whether it's closed, how they react, if it is open on Monday, how they react on Monday will dictate where this market goes. So, but yeah, so we look at these numbers right here. You're looking at the fear and greed index coming all the way down to 35, which I laugh at the fear and greed index at this point, because yesterday when you were looking at this market, was your fear and greed index at a 35? I bet you it was more down at a 9, right? It was more down at a 9, not so much at a 35. So this is more of a snap in time, right? This indicator right here is more of a snap in time, not so much of where the market is at the given moment. This indicator is an old indicator and gives you a overall sentiment, but it doesn't. I guarantee you that most people's fear of the market yesterday was way below a 35. It was way below. It was way below this 35 if you were in the market. Altcoin season definitely got absolutely smashed yesterday and pushed back to 32 out of 100. But here's the key. We've been talking about this for a while on this channel that the cryptocurrency market cap needed to stay above $4 trillion in order for us to have a chance at altcoin season in the fourth quarter. In order for us to have a chance, and I've said this for a while, for us to have a chance to have an altcoin season in the fourth quarter, we needed to be above a $4 trillion market cap going into the ETF launches, which hopefully would have pushed us up to a $4.5 trillion market cap over 30 days after launch. I don't see us going into an altcoin season until the first quarter of 2026 now. I think that has officially been pushed back. The numbers don't lie. Men lie, women lie, and the numbers don't. You can't go into an altcoin season right now with a market cap of $3.75 trillion in Bitcoin dominance, sitting here at 59.8%, and the Ethereum dominance sitting at 12.3%. You can't go into an altcoin season with them numbers. You have officially moved back into Bitcoin season, and we will probably be here for a little bit. You can't go and have an altcoin season with a Bitcoin dominance that high. The math doesn't math. The math at that point, the math doesn't work, and your market cap has to be above $4 trillion before your next catalyst to get you to the 4.5, and then you have to be able to bring this Bitcoin dominance. Your market cap has to go up, and your Bitcoin dominance has to come down, and them two need to happen at the same time. And right now, there is no sign in sight that them will happen at the same time. And I'm going to tell you, the market can come down really fast, but you're going to step ladder your way back up. You're not going to put $19 billion back into the market as fast as it came out. I can tell you that right now. Not going to happen. LeGrand, I think it's coming. I think altcoin season's coming. It's not coming in the fourth quarter of this year, though. It's not. The math doesn't math. It doesn't math. You're in October right now, right? Your next catalyst isn't until the ETFs are released, which isn't going to happen until the government opens, which you still have 30 days after your ETFs are released. Go back and look at what happened to Bitcoin and what happened to Ethereum when their ETFs came out. It usually takes about 30 days for them ETFs really to make an impact on the cryptocurrency market, because you have to shake the ETFs out that are going to make it and the ones that are not going to make it. So roughly about 30 days it takes for that to happen before you really start to see a significant impact into the cryptocurrency market. So even if they were released in the middle of October, you're not really looking at that really affecting the cryptocurrency market cap until mid to late November. And then December is usually a down month anyways because of Christmas and tax season and stuff like that. So now you're looking at January 1st, so it's coming. It's coming. I do believe the altcoin season is coming, but I don't think it's coming in the fourth quarter. You have the ISO 2022 situation that's supposed to be rolled out here in November. That will be rolled out. That'll start to happen. But if the government's not open and the government's not running and the government's not fully up and running, I don't see that being fully pushed out in November either. So there's a lot of things that have to happen, but your math has to math. How are you going to get this Bitcoin dominance down below 55% before December? And how are you going to get that market cap back up to $4.5 trillion to kick off this alt season in that short period of time. It's going to take until 2026 for that to happen. LeGrand, it's the math just doesn't math. And to anybody who tells you that it's going to happen faster, ask them, how is the Bitcoin dominance? The Bitcoin dominance just ticked up to 59.8%. How are you going to get that Bitcoin dominance down? It's especially in a market like this when everybody runs for safety, right? So as you've seen yesterday, when people start to dump their crypto because they're in fear, they're dumping meme coins, then altcoins, then Bitcoin. Most people are stocking their money away in Bitcoin, which is why you see the Bitcoin dominance going up, which is why you see gold at an all-time high, which is why you see silver at an all-time high. So you're not, the money's not flowing into altcoins. The money's not flowing into altcoins the way that you would need it to flow into altcoins in order to have an altcoin season. I mean, let's come over here. Let's look at the total too, right? It's sitting at $1.4 trillion. This thing absolutely got freaking torched yesterday. Torched. I mean, look at where this thing is. It's $1.46 trillion, right? This thing's extremely overdone. It's oversold right now. If you were to, way down in here on this, and if you were to take Ethereum out of this and go to the total 3, you would look at this thing, and this thing would be even worse. It would be all the way down here, where your altcoins just absolutely fell off a cliff yesterday. So I'm giving it to you and telling you that your math's not mathing with Ethereum in here, right? With Ethereum in here. So we'll look at the total 2. If you were to look at the total 3, it would even be worse. It would be worse. So and your math really wouldn't be mathing then. Well, let's see. We'll have a look at the total 3 right now, right? Let's see what we got. Your total 3 sitting at $1 trillion right now. It's holding on to $1 trillion. So when you got in, when we were looking at the total 2, we're at $1.43 trillion, $1.46 trillion. So $0.46 trillion of that market cap was in Ethereum. Now you get down here to your altcoins, you're only sitting on $1 trillion, right? This thing got smoked. Where is the recovery on this thing right here? Do you think that you're going to recover this? And this is a one. Let's move this so we can get a better picture here. Well, actually, no. We'll just do it right here. This is over the hour, right? So when we look at this on the hourly, right? You recovering that over the weekend? You recovering all of that market cap in a month? Before this happened, you were at $1.15 trillion. So you took $15 billion out of the altcoins, right? 15 billion came out of the altcoins in less than 24 hours. You going to get that $15 billion back in the next 2 months? Think about it for a minute. That's why I'm telling you your math. That's why I'm telling you that the fourth quarter bull run scenario that everybody's talking about, your math doesn't math. Are you going to get $15 billion back in just the altcoins? Not Bitcoin, not Ethereum, not any of them big ETFs, just the altcoins. Just from everything Ethereum down. It's not going to happen. October is Crashtober. Like this is it. I mean, I'm not here to blow smoke at you guys and act like everything's okay. And I'm telling you guys to go out there and buy the dip, and we're gonna go to altcoin season in November and all that stuff. Like, I'm not doing that to you guys because that's not true. So I'm not going to say that to you. What I am going to say to you is you probably need to DCA. If you're DCAing into this market, you better be DCAing 10 to 20% of your cash at a time. You better be slow playing that DCA in. You definitely don't want to go all in, because I'm telling you guys right now, like, there's a possibility that when these markets open, in the Asian market, in the European market, in the United States market, that there could be more downside. There could be a V-shaped recovery, but there also could be more downside. So if you're hedging your bet that everything is just going to start smoking back to the upside, you may lose that bet. You know, hey, TikTok, go ahead and keep smashing that like screen, guys. I just got a message. TikTok telling me you guys got to keep tapping that like screen and share this thing out, guys. Let everybody know we're live. I decided to come in here and check on everybody's mental health for a little while after the morning after the biggest liquidation event in cryptocurrency history. I can only laugh because there's nobody's portfolio that you can look at and be like, yo, that thing looks as good as it did on Thursday. Yo, my portfolio looks as good as it did on Thursday. You can only laugh. I mean, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You know, October always starts good. Yo, LeGrand, October. Listen, this isn't your average. This isn't your average dump, man. This isn't your average dump, man. Like, you can't compare this to anything else. And that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. Like, you can't compare this to anything else. You know, you can't. As much as I love you, LeGrand, like, you can't compare this to anything. This has never happened before. Never. In the history of crypto, this has never happened to this scale before. So we gotta quit. We gotta get out of this mindset where we're comparing this bull run to every other bull run. This is a very different bull run that you're in right now than has ever been out there before. You have token utilization with ISO coming out. You have perp dexes out there right now, which I absolutely love the perp dexes, man. And I think that that's the wave of the future. But there's more leverage in this market than there's ever been before. There's been more people, less people are holding crypto in their spot bags, and more people are holding leverage, which sets you up for liquidation levels like this, right? The market cap at the end of the last bull run was $3 trillion. That's all crypto could do last bull run was $3 trillion. You're already over $3 trillion in this is the bull run. We've had a flash crash. We're still in a bull. We're in a Bitcoin bull, but we're still in a bull. But that parabolic run that everybody's looking for, right? That parabolic takeoff phase that everybody wants, where their altcoins do 20% a day. It's not coming until 26. And where's the money coming from, right? And this is something that we talk about all the time. Like, where's the money coming from, LeGrand? Because the last bull market was what we call the 19 bull market. And we all know why we call it the 19 bull market. Everybody had money all over the place to throw into the market. That's not the case anymore. Most of the people that had that money that they were throwing in the market during 19, they're living in debt. Their credit card debt's at an all-time high. Automobile repossessions are at an all-time high. Housing affordability is at an all-time high. Where's the money coming from? Where's the money coming from? Unless they start handing out stimmies, they ain't got the money. You don't have them. Retail doesn't have the money they had last bull cycle. It is what it is. You know, we got to come to reality when we talk about these stuff. Like we got 4.5. Someone, me and you've been calling for 4.5 for a while. but we gotta get out of this hopium, right? This is not the cryptocurrency market that you lived in before. This hope, it's different. It's different. It's a different market. It's not the same cryptocurrency market as it was the last bull run. It's just not. And anybody who thinks, everybody's trying to sell you that dream. It's not the same market. And you can only trade the market. You can only trade the market that's in front of your face. Yeah, I mean, listen, if you got spot crypto right now, the last thing you want to be doing is selling. Why are you selling now? So yeah, I mean, you got to hold until the market tells you it's time to sell. But I can tell you, like, when you look at it, it's different. It's different now. Yeah, usually we bleed down. This wasn't a bleed. This wasn't a slow bleed. Somebody cut the neck off. People are definitely over leveraging the market right now with the dexes and everything coming out. I'm telling you guys right now, leverage in this market holds the majority of the liquidity. Leverage in this market, and that's when you have the leverage that is in crypto right now that has never been in crypto before. And like I said, I love Aster. I love Trouble's perp dex. I love Athena's got a perp dex. GTX has got a perp dex. I like Hydro Liquid. I love all of them platforms. But I'm telling you, the same way that the Launchpad, the meme coin Launchpads changed the games for memes, the perp dexes are changing the game for whether or not you're holding spot crypto or whether you're holding leverage crypto. And the majority of people right now are holding leverage crypto. I'm telling you, the numbers are there. The numbers are sitting right there in front of your face. If you don't believe me, right here it is. So the market got wiped out yesterday, longs and shorts, right? Wiped out. Let's just call it completely destroyed. So what do we have right now in the market, in the cryptocurrency market, that's open for leverage? $1.2 trillion. So yesterday, when the market got wiped out from longs and shorts, $1.2 trillion of liquidity came back into the market on longs and shorts. Think about that for a minute. $1.2 trillion came back into the market yesterday just on leverage alone. We weren't talking these numbers last bull run. We weren't talking these types of numbers last bull run, man. And this and right here, this leverage, because people are over leveraged again. People are over leveraged again because they just are. And I'm not going to get into why, or the fact that they really don't know what the hell they're doing out here. I mean, I leverage trade. I'm a leverage trader, but I've been leverage trading in the stock market for years, right? So you know what you're doing. But in a market like this where I can pull up the heat map right now and you're going to have people with 25, 30 X's on Bitcoin right now going long. They're going to get crushed. They're going to get wiped out. So when you put this much leverage in a market, what's going to happen is now all of a sudden the market makers are going to come in and they're going to swoop this leverage back up again. So if you have all the leverage going up, which there should be very, very few leverage shorts right now because the market is down. If you have all this leverage going up, what's the market makers going to do? They're going to drop the price. They're going to liquidate all of them longs by dropping the price, and then they'll bring it back up. You guys, this is a different game. This is a different game, man. And I'm telling you, like, I get frustrated, and this is why I'm streaming live now, right? Completely off schedule. I'm off schedule. This is not, and you guys know I very rarely go off schedule. I'm off schedule because I'm frustrated, because I hear everybody out here telling people, oh, this is a flash crash. It's no big deal. You're good. Just DCA the market right now. It's no big deal. You're fine. Look at this thing. These are great opportunities, and they are great opportunities. I don't disagree with them guys being great opportunities, but they're not being honest about why we are where we are. Either they're not being honest about why we are where we are. They don't know why we are where we are, right? Your leverage traders, there's more of them in here now, which gives the market makers more of a liquidity grab. And because you have more institutions in crypto, they're now going to manipulate the market, right? Nobody wants to talk about the leverage traders in the market. Nobody wants to talk about the fact that there's more institutions and that they're manipulating the market. Nobody wants to talk about the fact that your altcoins are good, but if you would have looked at the total 3 just 2 weeks ago, you would have said to yourself, oh, we might be in trouble. We might be in trouble. If you would have looked at this total 3 and really looked at it and really truly looked at it for what it was, right? Weeks ago, you would have said, oh boy, we're in a downward trend right now. The total 3 is trending down, right up in here. This thing's overheated. We talk about this on our channel a lot. Things overheated. This thing may not be in a good situation. This total 3, Bitcoin and Ethereum are really driving this market right now, and BNB's really started to drive the market cap as well. The rest of the altcoins, really not performing that well. We may have a problem, and I don't know. Selma, you were on here Friday. What I tell you guys on Friday when the market opened? I said, this don't look good. Market doesn't look good today. You got Trump out here running his mouth. This market keeps swinging back and forth. This market doesn't look good today. And they took the opportunity to smash that market, and then they turned around and took the opportunity to. The market makers in crypto took the opportunity to go ahead and wipe out $19 billion of crypto. And you got a lot. Oh, frustration. I get frustrated because we talked about this. Let's just look at the BTC chart. Let's move to the 4 hour, because it's so obvious what happened. I mean, I don't want to jump on blind people, right? But Stevie Wonder could see what the hell happened yesterday, right? So you're on the 4 hour on Bitcoin, right? The tariff news came. What time is this? You're in 4 hour right here. So the tariff news came out right about here, right? Let's see if we can get our drawings out, right? The tariff news came, I'm going to say probably right around this area right here, right? This is where the stock market started to dip, right? This is where, you see that, right? You see that, right? I'll turn this around for my people on TikTok. So you see this, right? So right here is about where the tariff news started to come out, right there. So the market makers dumped the market right. Let me see here. The market makers dumped the market. So right here was your all day. This was all day in the stock market, right? On the way down, right? So right about 4 o'clock, which was right about right here, right? The market makers decided that this was a great opportunity to liquidate everybody. And that's exactly what happened. Because if this thing was strictly about tariffs, you would have started your recovery right here. Because that's when the news came out. That's when the stock market tried to settle in. That was the whole trading day. At 4 o'clock, the market makers decided, boom, there's nothing that anybody can do about this anymore, right? There's nothing anybody can do about this anymore. So boom, we're just going to tank the markets right there. And that's how this thing went down. Call it what you want. That's how this thing went down. So it is what it is. But the thing about it is, I'm just on here to tell you guys. I want to make sure, first of all, y'all all right. Like everybody's okay. Like, ain't nobody jumping. Everybody's good. And then I want here to tell you, don't be DCing all your money into the market. All right. Put a little bit in at a time right now, because the markets are volatile right now. They're still volatile. You still don't know which direction these things are headed. And anybody who tells you, bottom line, if you were playing with leverage, you got wrecked. Oh yeah, no doubt. If you were playing with leverage, you got wrecked. And the surprising part, the surprising part is that everybody who got wrecked, there's still $1.2 trillion of new leverage that came into the market within 24 hours. What do you think the market maker is going to do with that leverage? They're all longs. The majority of them are longs. And that's why I'm telling you guys, be careful. The majority of them are longs. The market maker is going to want that. The lizard people, the market makers are going to want that liquidity. Good afternoon, Scottish man. I'm just on here just like trying to figure out, make sure all my peoples are good, man. How's everybody doing over there on TikTok, man? I'm sorry, I kind of been neglecting you guys a little bit. My bad, man. Let me see if But did you guys on TikTok see what I was trying to say about how that thing got manipulated? Manipulated pretty bad. But yeah, I mean, my thought over there for you guys, on all the platforms is DCA in, man. Do not put large. If you are leveraging trading right now, leave yourself a lot of room. Very low leverage. Leave yourself a lot of room. And if you're spot trading right now and you're looking to get better positions, little bits at a time, little, because I'm telling you, you could be trying to catch a falling knife. So yeah, Scottish, I caught Aerodrome yesterday. Cheapest shit yesterday. The two positions I did catch on that flash crash yesterday was Aerodrome and H-Bar. Were the only two that I was actually able to hit. Because then everything went down. Uniswap was slow, wasn't letting your transactions go through. All the centralized exchanges were slow, not letting your transactions go through. Radium was slow, which Radium's always slow anyways. Radium's terrible. Jupiter was slow. And everything just was just like everything just stopped. Everything just stopped, right? Yesterday until they could figure it out. And then, I mean, I don't know it. I don't know an exchange that didn't have problems yesterday, and I don't even think they had problems. Here's what I call me crazy, but here's what I think happened. They seen this thing coming or knew this thing was coming, and there was no way in hell. There was no way in hell that they were going to let all of us buy the bottom. It just wasn't going to happen. They weren't going to let us buy the bottom. So they had to cut down operations for a couple hours so that all the big dogs could go in there and buy the bottom, and then they open back up. I'll tell you the one. Listen, call me crazy, but I'm telling you, I was trying to buy everywhere yesterday, and because I had dry powder on the side, right? So I was trying to buy some projects that listen. I was when that thing hit the bottom, like I was trying to be in it. But the one exchange that actually allowed my transactions to go through without a problem, and people dog them all the time, was actually Robinhood. I was able to buy on Robinhood when I wasn't able to buy on Coinbase. So I want you guys to think about that for a minute. So think about what happened yesterday, right? Think about what exchanges you're using. Think about what went down, and then think about what stayed up. Because in a massive bull run, when you get a massive push up, we're going to get to altcoin season, right? So when you get that massive push to the upside, they're going to do the same thing. They're not going to want you to sell at the top of that. So what exchanges shut down yesterday, couldn't handle the volume, and which ones allowed you to get your transactions through? Pay attention to that. Ken, what's going on, man? We're impromptu here, man. I was able to deposit and buy the bottom. Oh, nice profit, nice. Coinbase wasn't letting me do nothing, profit. Like literally, I got failed transaction after failed transaction after failed transaction. Robinhood put mine through just at the snap of a finger. I didn't have a problem at all. Kraken was a shit show. Coinbase was a shit show too yesterday. It literally was, man. I got two transactions to go through on Coinbase yesterday. Aerodrome and HBAR. That's it. Everything else I bought, I had to go over and buy on Robinhood. Luckily, hey, thanks for the love. Thanks for the love. But luckily, I had my Robinhood account for some different stuff that I have going on over there. Some option trading and things like that. So luckily I had some stuff over there I was able to take care of. Improved Saturday. Yeah, I had to check in on my people on this Saturday after that. After yesterday, 24 hours afterwards. What's the bubbles look like right now? We got Bitcoin right now sitting at 111s, coming down 111.9. It's 112 and a half earlier. Ethereum 3,800. Man, so 0.3% down on the hour for BTC right now, 0.7% down for Ethereum right now. BNB holding at 0, but man, it lost 9%. Let's take a look at some of these cryptos on 24 hour. Look at what happened. Look at where we're still at when it comes to a lot of these projects, right? Solana still down 11.9%. Got slaughtered yesterday. Solana was down to like 170 something yesterday. Just absolutely this thing just looks like an absolute bloodbath. But pick your crypto, it looks like a bloodbath. But look at Aerodrome, 20.9% 0.7%. Airdrome Finance is down right now 20%. OP is down 33% in a 24-hour period. So I'm not telling you guys not to go buy these. What I'm telling you guys is don't go all in. Don't use all your capital right now because there could be more downside. Link got down to like $12 or $13 yesterday, sitting at $17.66 right now, but it's still down 21%. 21% in 24 hours. 21. I mean, think about that. Like that ain't no joke, man. I haven't even opened up when I was buying yesterday on my exchanges, I refused to look at the balance of what was in my crypto. Like I didn't want to look at the balance. I didn't even want to see where I was. And I haven't looked today either. Like I can pull this up on a 24-hour and I know I don't gotta look. Ain't no sense of looking. I know I'm poorer today than I was 2 days ago. That's the beginning, middle, and end, right? So, it is what it is. It is what it is. Is that Sarah in the chat? How are you, Sarah? H-bar. Where is H-bar? Like I bought H-bar yesterday. 17 cents. Sitting at 17 cents right now. Come on, man. Like these are prices that you didn't think that you were going to get, right? Like Airdrome Finance. I mean, Arbitron. When we look at Arbitron, sitting at 31 cents right now. And people forget what's happening with Arbitron. Robinhood is actually building their stock trading platform on Arbitron. Sleeping giant. I believe it's a sleeping giant. Look at ADA down 19.19%. So you're looking at about a 20. You're looking at between a 20, if you add them all, about a 20 to 25% discount. Crow right now sitting at 15 cents. I mean, this thing's at 15 cents. And here's how I look at this, right? So if I was going to invest in Crow right now, if I was just fresh bag of Crow right now, and I was going to hold it on spot, right? What I would do with this is I would say, do I believe that Crow is going to go to $1.50 this cycle? Let's be perfectly clear about what we're talking about. This cycle, right? If I believed that Crow was going to go to $1.50 this cycle, which is a 10x from where it is right now. So understand what I'm saying. That's a 10x. I would start my DCA into Crow right now at 15 cents. And I would dump that whole bag at $1.50. I would dump the whole shop at $1.50. That's a 10x. But I probably wouldn't wait to get to a 10x. I probably would start selling off at 75 cents a little. I'd get my initials out at 75 cents. I would take a little bit of profit at $1 and I would dump the rest at $1.50. But that's got to be your mentality. After a flash crash like this, it's got to be your mentality of whatever I'm buying right now, I have to believe that that's going to 10x this cycle. Because we're not round tripping anything, right? We're not holding on for the next cycle. We're not waiting for the next cycle. We're not chilling out. You know what I'm saying? That's not what we're doing. We're saying, how are we going to make money this cycle right now? So because everything's so far down, you have to look at it different. Instead of saying, how can everything 2x? What can I buy now that could possibly 10x, right? So if you believe $1.50 for Crow is a 10x, do you believe Crow's going to $1.50 to start this run, this cycle? If you do, then that's a good buy for you. We talk a lot about Airdrome, right? Airdrome sitting at 85 cents right now. So if I'm buying Airdrome right now, I have to believe that Airdrome's going to $8.50, right? So how am I taking care of that? What am I doing? If I own Airdrome, right? I own it. So it's not, not a new project for me. But if it was, right? If Aerodrome was a new project for me, I would say I would buy it right now. If I was to buy it right now, I would have to start selling off at $5. At $5, and then I'd have to start selling off some at $6 or $6.50, and then I would have to sell the rest at $8.50 at a 10x, right? If you're buying in right now, you should think about a strategy like that. When do I get my initials out? TikTok's messing with me. When do I get my initials out? Right? When do I take my next profit? And then when am I out? When am I completely out? Right? And because the prices are where they are, you're completely out should be 10x from here. If you believe that the bull run's coming, right? If you believe that the bull run's coming in 26. So if you believe that to be true, then that could be a strategy for you. Maybe you only want a 5x something, right? So if you buy something right now, you got to believe that it's going to 5x, and then you got to have a profit taking strategy based upon that strategy, right? But the last thing you want to be doing now is buying things and saying that you're going to hold it and round trip it to the next bull run. That's just dumb. That's idiotic. That doesn't make any sense. You ain't making no money. You're making no money, right, Ken? You ain't making no money when you do that. You smashing it, bro? Oh, okay. I bet you guess that's because you hang out with the good crew, Jen. That's because you hang out with the good crew, Ken. That's why you're smashing it right now. I mean, the thing about it is, I'm not there's cryptos I look at right now. I got my portfolio. I don't need to look at. I know where I bought them in a bear market. I'm still up. Even with this flash crash, I'm still up. XRP was down to like $1.60 something yesterday, maybe even lower. The Arbitrum you are on official spokesperson for Coinbase. Am I an official spokesperson for Coinbase? No, I'm not an official spokesperson for Coinbase. Hey, but if you got people wanting to talk to me from Coinbase, tell them to come on over, man. Don't come on over. I talk to them. I love Coinbase. I love Base Chain. But yeah, so I think we're good. I think we're going to recover. I think we'll see all-time highs in alts. I just think that so Jake, I believe this is Jake. That's we use the 4 for A. I think we're going to recover. I just don't think it's going to be in 2025, right? I don't think it's going to be in 2025. I think 2026 is going to be the year. I think we're going to have to limp along the rest of in the fourth quarter. And I thought that the fourth quarter was going to be the run, right? And I said we're going to start the run in the fourth quarter. This is going to be the run up in the fourth quarter of 2025. I can no longer say that. I have to say it's going to be the first quarter of 2026. We have a lot of ground to make up right now. And Bitcoin dominance is still way, way, way too high for any type of altcoin season. If you've been through this before and you know how this thing goes and you know how this thing runs, your Bitcoin dominance has to come down in order for your altcoin season to start, right? And Bitcoin dominance is far from coming down. It's actually growing in strength right now, and it's growing massively in strength right now. We'll go over here. We'll refresh this page, and we'll look and see where the Bitcoin dominance is right now. but you're teetering right now on 60% of this whole market cap being in Bitcoin. It's 59.7, right? 59.7% of all of the money in crypto right now is in Bitcoin. You can't have an altcoin season until that thing drops below 55%. Just your math has to math. That's what I keep telling you guys. Your math has to math. And people that say, "Oh yeah, the fourth quarter we're gonna get it," like, yeah, that might have been true. Thank you for the hat. Thank you for the hat. Looks good on me over there on TikTok. They're giving me a hat. Thank you for the hat. But people over there say the fourth quarter, like, yeah, we all said the fourth quarter. We all wanted the fourth quarter. We all were hoping for the fourth quarter, right? Nobody could have predicted this flash crash, right? Nobody could. The only people that could have predicted this flash crash were the people that manipulated this flash crash, right? Nobody could. Now you have to kick the ball down the road a little bit. You got to be realistic about situation. Then that's something that not a lot of people can sit in front of this camera and tell you that, yeah, man, I said the fourth quarter too. I predicted that. I wanted the fourth quarter. Like, I was begging for the fourth quarter. But guess what? Probably not going to happen. It's probably going to be the first quarter of 2026. And I'll be honest with you guys about that. Crow will be just fine. Crow will be just fine. But like I said, it's sitting at 15 cents right now. Can you get it to 150? If you believe it's going to 150, that's 10x from here. That's a good buy. That's a good buy. Unpopular opinion, but unfortunately, Gaza, and yeah, the wars are going to play a big role in what's going on right now. They're going to play a big role in what's going on right now. This tariff situation is going to play a big role in what's going on right now. David Gayton, how are you? This tariff situation will play a big role in where we are right now as an economy, right? You got two of the biggest dogs in the game going at it, right? You have the biggest consumer nation in the United States going after the biggest producer nation in China. So you have the two biggest dogs in the game squaring off against each other. But here's what I said yesterday on TikTok, and I was on Wadi's Live, and we were talking about it, and I really truly believe that this is, somebody asked me how I thought that this thing was going to play out and who was going to win this battle between China and in the United States. First of all, I will say there's necessarily never going to be a winner and a loser, right? Somebody's going to get hurt in the end, right? But what's going to end up happening, the United States has people that live in the United States don't want to admit it, but they're at a disadvantage in these negotiation talks, especially with China, because China doesn't have elections. So they can wait out the storm. They can wade through the storm. There are people who can get mad. They can get pissed. They can do whatever they want to do, but they're limited in their protesting ability. They're limited in who they can vote in and out of office. They're limited in what they can do as a nation, right? Here in the United States, we have elections, and elections have consequences, right? So if the American people really truly don't like what's going on, they can change it in the midterms and then in the presidential election, right? And then that will change the course of how business gets taken care of over the next 2 to 4 years, right? And that is why I think that China actually holds the upper hand in these negotiations because they can just wait for the next regime to come in, or whatever, right? But here's the thing. We didn't get to this financial situation here overnight. And we didn't get to this financial situation because of Donald Trump or Joe Biden. This has been decades of mismanagement of the American funds, right? in mismanagement of budgets and mismanagement of trade deals and mismanagement of anything that you could mismanage. They've officially mismanaged. And now it's all starting to come to pass, right? $30 trillion in debt. Who's going to pay that? You know, you're going to have to print more money because inflation is so high. You're going to have to print more money, which is going to devalue the dollar even more, which is going to make inflation go up. And it's this vicious cycle that we're in because we have so much debt. So, and people say, well, we live in a debt-based country, right? So we should expect debt. Now, I don't think anybody expected a $30 trillion debt, right? Like I don't think anybody would have rolled off on that and said, yeah, we're gonna write off on a $30 trillion debt, and the American people are really going to get nothing in return of that $30 trillion, and we're going to be good with that. Like I don't think that would have been a conversation that would have happened if that would have happened as thank you for the hat. If that would have happened, you know, as this thing was going on, right? So, but this isn't, you know, we haven't here in the United States. I want you guys to, you know, think about this. Like, and we'll get into, you know, because this is a direct reflection on where we are, right? Like, we haven't had a balanced budget since Bill Clinton. We haven't had a balanced budget since Bill Clinton. Think about that for a minute. We've been in debt. We've been passing deficit budgets since the day that Bill Clinton left office. So every president after Bill Clinton is just as guilty for where we are today. There's been some Republicans in there. There's been some Democrats in there. So it's not a Republican or a Democrat thing. It's really an American thing. Americans have a problem with the word no. And they have a problem with the word we can't afford that. And until you can get somebody in there that can take care of that and basically say, I don't care. This is what we're going to do. We're going to balance the budget. It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt. It's not going to feel good. A lot of people aren't going to like it, but we're going to balance the budget, you know? So Americans got to have a hard conversation with themselves about what's important and what's not important, right? And a lot of the things we're doing, a lot of things we're paying for, a lot of the money that's going places isn't important. I don't want to minimize other countries. I don't want to minimize some of the services that we provide. I don't want to minimize any of that. But when you're $30 trillion in debt, you have to ask yourself, is that worth that? Is it worth it? And we've been providing goodwill to a lot of other places and a lot of other people. But where is our goodwill now that we're $30 trillion in debt? Who's providing us goodwill? I don't know. Friends usually scratch each other's back, right? Somebody got paid. Somebody got paid. It was a billion. Yo, $19 billion got liquidated out of cryptocurrency market yesterday. 24 hours. $19 billion. It was crazy. Can you talk about Zcash? Oh, Zcash. Zcash. I love Zcash. And here, look at Zcash sitting up there in green right now, right? So up 21.6%. Listen, here's how manipulated this market is. And here's how dumb, I don't know how to say dumb, but how uneducated people are. What is Zcash? Zcash is a privacy protocol. You send your money there, you sell it off, and it's in private and nobody can track it, right? Why the hell do you think that the privacy protocols are up, that were up before the crash and that are still up today? Let me guess, because they're phenomenal projects that everybody should buy into. Is that going to be your answer? Is that the answer? Is that the answer? That these privacy protocols like Zcash and all the rest of these privacy protocols were up 2 days ago. They were up 1 day ago, and they're booming today. Let me guess. They're phenomenal projects, and everybody should own them, and all that stuff. Zcash is up because that's where the big wallets are dumping on your ass. You still fighting the flu? All right. Go ahead, get it, Ken. Knock it out. Knock that flu out. Yeah, like Moreno is the real Bitcoin. Let's be honest. That's where the majority of big money are dumping their bags on. Zcash, Moreno, all them guys, they're up right now. And the reason that they're up is legitimately because these big wallets are dumping on you and they don't want you to track them. Let this be a lesson. School's in session, y'all. Let this be a lesson. The next time you see Moreno and you see Zcash up for multiple days and running like they were running for a couple days, know that the market's about to dump. Because know that big wallets are over there stuffing their protocols over there so that they can dump on you. Realize that. When these privacy protocols start to run like they run, let this be a lesson. Classes in session. Where's my boy Web3 over there at TikTok? We're going to college right now. There's a reason that these are up. There's a reason that these things have been running. And there's a reason that these things have been running for days. And that's so big money could clean their wallets and dump on you. And that's exactly what's going on right now. So the next time that you see Zcash, Moreno, all them guys, all them privacy protocols, and they start to run, and they start to gain ground, and they start to move, and they start to do things, just know you better stay 10 toes down. Do you think Zcash can sustain this? No. I think that once this dump is over and the market starts to recover, you'll see Zcash come down. It's being utilized right now, and it's being utilized a lot, which is pumping the price. So I think once this is over, once everybody cleans their wallets, once the dump is over, you'll see Zcash. I think Zcash will be around. I think it's going to be a solid project. I think there's a lot of money to be made in Zcash. But do I think it's going to run as hot as it is right now? Nah, probably not. Probably not. It'll come back down. You can't be up 24% right now, and the rest of the market's down 20 something percent, and expect that to sustain. That's not gonna happen. You will come back to the market. Every stock will come back to the market. Every crypto will come back to the market. They will all come back. The market's the market, so. There was supposed to be a new development. Yeah, I mean it's cool. A new development with Zcash. Any of these projects right now could come out with a new utility, right? Any of them could come out with a brand new utility that's absolutely great, right? There's not enough utility. There's not enough liquidity in the market to pump it. Yeah, I mean, to pump it to where you would want to pump it. Any project that wants to release anything new, probably should wait. They should wait before they release it. I wouldn't release anything in this market right now. I wouldn't launch anything in this market. I wouldn't release anything in this market. I wouldn't do anything in this market. I would, as a developer, I would just sit back, communicate with my communities. Let them know that we got a handle on this thing. We know what's coming. We know how we're rolling. We know what's going to happen. But I wouldn't release any new utilities in this market right now. There's no reason to. You're not gonna get a pump. You're not going to get a pump off of it. There's not enough liquidity in the market. But I do like Zcash. For the long haul, I like Zcash. I do think that Zcash is in for a pullback here pretty soon. It'll come back down to reality. Let's see where exactly is it right now, because it went on a run today. $273 right now. Yeah, you're gonna see this thing pull back. Let's pull it back over just let's pull it back over a year. So it's sitting as high. It's sitting at its high right now for the year, right? In a market that just got crushed, right? So Zcash is literally almost at its all-time high for the past 12 months in a market that just got crushed, right? So think about this for a minute. Most of the people that are invested in Zcash are up. They're up, right? They're going to pull profits out of there. It pulled back to 180 yesterday. Yeah, but look at where it's at. Look at where it is now. It's right back up. It's right back up to 274, right? So you're running about as hot as you ran. Right now, you're running about as hot as you ran in the past 12 months, right? And you got to just ask yourself your question, like, why are you running that hot, right? Well, it's because people are dumping their crypto through Zcash, right? They're dumping it. So, okay, so what happens when the dump is over, right? People are done dumping their cash, dumping their crypto through Zcash, right? Well, what happens, right? Well, it gets less and less utilized over the next couple of weeks. So it'll come back down. It'll have a pullback, right? And there's nothing wrong when you're running this hot at 274 right now, 273, 274. There's nothing wrong with a pullback. On a pullback, I would jump in. You know what I mean? I would jump in as soon as it got back into its moving averages. If you pulled the moving averages up on the screen, and as soon as it dropped back down into the moving averages, I would make a buy. It's just a matter of waiting for it to pull back. You know, don't buy it when it's just hot. You know what I mean? It'll come back up to 274, but don't buy it until it pulls back to its moving averages. Yeah, buy it discounts, but I'm like right now, like I say, if you have $1,000 to put into the market, you got it at 215, you're good. Then you're good. It's not going to pull back that far, Joe. Not going to pull back that far. But here's, if you have money to put into a market like this, whether it's stock market or crypto market, if you have money to put in like this, like I said earlier, just keep dipping your toe in the water. Go 25%, see what the market does over a couple hours. Go 25% more, go 25%. You know what I mean? But don't just jump it all at once. Because as you guys can see, I mean, the market's up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down today. Today it's just up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. Like a horror house. It's up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. It just doesn't stop, right? So, it's just it's crazy. So, sorry to go on to go on about geopoliticals, but President of the United States made it. President of the United States made it clear, like the President of the United States has made it clear that we are in a pure economic reset. The United States is in an economic reset, right? And which puts the world kind of in an economic reset, right? Because trade deals need to be taken care of. Everything just needs to be taken care of. And I don't know. like, and we got wars going on that we're heavily involved with. In the United Nations are heavily involved with, the UK nations are heavily involved with, we're heavily involved with. That's all affecting these markets, right? And you guys know I'm pretty much down the middle. I call it like I see it, right? I'm not a Republican, I'm not a Democrat, I'm down the middle. I call it like I see it. And to be honest with you, America needed a reset. We were completely losing a lot of stuff that we had going on over here, from values to finances to what was important, to where we were spending our money, to who was most important versus who was okay, versus big fat companies like the insurance companies just robbing you blind. And I'm talking medical insurance, car insurance, housing insurance, stuff like that, to, you know, taxation. I tell people that live in the United States that say that we're a free nation, I say, no, we're slaves. We're slaves to the government. You pay 50% of your wages in taxes. You work until August or September to pay all of the taxes that you have to pay. So you really only have between August and September that money to pay for bills and your regular living expenses. When you break it down, taxation is the new slavation, right? And you know, everything that you do, you get taxed on. You get your paycheck gets taxed. You get taxed when you get gas. You get taxed when you get food. You get taxed when you buy a car. You get taxed when you buy a house. You get taxed when you everything you buy has a tax attached to it, even though you've already paid for taxes. School taxes, you pay for the same school that your kids go to. You pay for it 3 times. You pay for it on the federal level, the state level, and the local level if you own a house. How much sense does that make? That doesn't make any sense at all. Like, how many times you got to pay taxes on the same thing, right? You buy a car, like, you pay taxes on a car when it's brand new. Then you pay taxes. Then the person buying it when on a used market has to pay taxes. Then when a person buying it on a used market has to pay taxes again. Then the person selling it has to pay taxes. How many times do you have to pay taxes on the same vehicle? You know, so this is the problem. Like, America has lost its way with taxation, and then wars and everything else. So we needed a reset. You needed a reset, and the American people have been pimped out for a long time. And, you know, I call it what it is. We've been pimped out. Like, our workers have been pimped out overseas with the closing of factories and cheap labor and stuff like that, which is why China has the resources that it has, is because they became the biggest producing nation in the world, because we gave them all of our plants. We gave them all of our products. We allowed them to move over there. And so did a lot of the other European nations allowed that to happen, right? So I know I'm going on a whole political rant right now, but just stick with me. Hopefully you guys will understand where I'm coming from. But we allowed this situation to happen. And you know, and it's not, now it's time to pay the price, right? And then, you know, so you have the American workers being pimped out to other nations, and then you have the American people that are working being pimped out to their own government through their taxation, right? So, you know, the American workers have just been absolutely destroyed every which way. The American people have been absolutely destroyed, which in every way in which you can destroy them, right? So, and then you take the morals and the values that were here in the 50s, the 60s, and the 70s, and even the 80s, and now you throw them out the window as well. And now all of a sudden, what do you got? You got a whole country that's just in fucking chaos, and that's where we are. It's just absolute freaking chaos. And until we can fix the chaos and get the thing back on the right track, then, you know, we are where we are. I mean, you think about it, we're $30 trillion in debt. What our roads suck, our healthcare sucks, you know, our education system's terrible, and people are taxed to death. So where did our $30 trillion go? Where did your $30 trillion go? It didn't go for healthcare. It didn't go to to lower taxes. It didn't go to better the people. It didn't go to better trade deals. It didn't go to better any of that stuff. So where does your $30 trillion go? Think about it for a minute. Where did your $30 trillion go? What do you have? What do you have for $30 trillion? $30 trillion is a lot of money. What do you got? Ask yourself, what do you got? It went for wars. People over there on TikTok are calling it. Went for wars. It went for wars. It went for taking care of other countries. It went for taking care of other people. It went to the politicians' pockets, as Elon Musk put out there. And people may not like it. The one thing, when Elon was in there and he was in Doge, you may not have liked his tactics, right? His tactics were probably terrible, right? How he went about it was probably terrible. But you can't argue with what he found. You could never hear anybody argue with what he found. You never hear anybody say what he found was wrong. They say they don't like how he found it. They don't like the tactics that he used. They thought that, he shouldn't have just went in there and rampaged everybody. But did you ever hear anybody stand up and say what he found was inaccurate? It was wrong? It wasn't happening? It wasn't going on? No, you didn't hear that. Instead, they attacked the man instead of attack the problem. And you may not like his tactics, but explain to me why this money was going where it was going. And then people wonder why this economy is the way that it is, and you even look at what happened yesterday with the flash crash, right? How and why did that happen? It happened because of market manipulation. It happened because market makers manipulated the market and tanked the market on you. How do you allow market makers to be able to do that in a free, open traded system? Why is there no precautions to not allow that to happen? Think about it for a minute. Just stop, take your fairy tale hat off, take a step back, and think about it for a minute. Right? How did that happen yesterday? It happened because there was no safety rails in place to say that you couldn't do that. I tell you, the market makers that are in cryptocurrency right now that just tanked the markets yesterday are not on the stock market. They're not on the stock market. You had a sell-off yesterday on the stock market. Nowhere near as bad as this, because the market makers cannot operate over there like they can operate in cryptocurrency. Think about it. So, no. So that's my take on where we are, guys. I'm going to let you guys go. We've been on here for a minute. Usually I'm only on here for an hour. We're way over that. My boy Ken stopped by. My man Selmo stopped by. TikTok on fire, baby. TikTok, I'm going to do another live over there straight tonight for you guys after Wadi stream, man. Love you guys over there. My man Timsky dropped by over here on YouTube. We had a lot of people dropping in over on YouTube as well. I love all the love that you guys are giving. Love all the love that you guys are receiving. Thank you again for the love of the hat. I believe that's Sarah. I believe I can't really see because I got so many streaming platforms going on, but thank you. So yeah, I mean, I love each and every one of you guys. Impromptu stream, not scheduled, just kind of thought I'd jump on here this morning and make sure everybody was still okay, baby. Bags might be down, but I want to make sure everybody's okay. And I want to leave you guys with some good news. You look at the hourly crypto bubbles, man, they're green. They're green. So, maybe we found the bottom, and that's going to be a great thing, man, if we did. And, but let's make sure we found the bottom before we go aping back in. Let's make sure the bottom set in. Yo, man, I love all you guys, man. You guys have a great day, man. You guys have a great weekend. Yo, don't even look at your portfolios this weekend because they ain't even worth looking at, man. Don't even look at it. Let the market recover. If you're not DCAing in and you're not leverage trading, just sit back, chill out, let the market recover, let the market come to you. If you don't got any more money to invest, then kick back and chill out and let the market come back to you too. You know what I mean? Just chill out. Go touch some grass today, baby. You know what I mean? Go get outside, go touch some grass, go spend some time with your family, go do your thing. Because, yo, look, we can't control the markets. We can only trade in the markets that are in front of our face, but we can't control the outcome of what's going to happen. That was evident yesterday, as evident could be. And just think, you guys lived through the biggest cryptocurrency liquidation in history. So if you're still here and you're still standing, it gets no worse than this, baby. From a historical standpoint, it gets no worse than this, man. So you guys lived through it. You guys are here. You guys are still here. You're still 10 toes down. You're still standing up. You're still standing strong. Keep them positive vibes going. Keep them positive energy going. Yo, the market's going to come back around. Bull run probably 2026 now. But guess what, guys? We're going to get to the altcoin season in 2026, probably more than likely 2026 now. But we're going to get there. So you've been doing it this long. You've been holding on this long. You survived the biggest crash in cryptocurrency history. Don't give up now. Keep moving. Keep moving forward. We're out of here. I'll be back with you guys on Monday. Stay up. Stay positive. Do your thing. Take your profits next time a little bit better, and it won't hurt so bad. Love every single one of you guys. We out of here. Bye. Peace.